here we go. It is Racing Formula League Season 15, round number 4, and we're here for the sprint race here at Abu Dhabi. It is 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Tarrier immediately covering off Danny to the very edge of the track, and then side by side we go through turn 1. Tarrier going slightly wide, but stays in the lead out of turn 1. There's action further back with the McLaren of Verklempt holding off Polar for now, but into the next corner. It's going to be side by side, and it's also Danny having a look on Tarrier as well for the lead. A bit of action further back in terms of some contact, but side by side between Danny and Tarrier down first of the 2 DRS straights. Side by side they go into the braking zone of the chicane, and oh, it's Danny being slightly pushed wide by Tarrier there. It's going to be interesting to see what happens now down towards turn number 9, a fast hairpin, and side by side they go again. Tom trying to see if he can get in on the action as well in the Williams car. Side by side, Tarrier and Danny once again. Who is going to come out on top in this particular time, battling again, and still they go side by side, and even under the hotel now as well. Still it's side by side, but it is Tarrier who ends up retaining the lead. Angelo's having a look at Tom Dorian for P3 as well. Tom able to defend for the moment, and it will now be DRS active as well. Tarrier defending the inside there, and Verklempt and Simon are side by side into the hairpin now as well. Could it be move complete for the Williams? It can very much be indeed, but it's going to be a DRS drag race down the straight. But Tarrier going defensive again here into the chicane. A little bit of contact in the battle just behind. Angelo under pressure from Simon, who has just about gone through. And Verklempt trying to get in the action as well for the McLaren team as well, but side by side as Angelo gets back through for P4, but can he complete the overtake? He just about can, and we want a nice angle here, and it's side by side for P7 and 8 here. Wide goes Polar there, but Angelo gets himself ahead of the Williams of Tom Gordon, and that is DRS complete there as well. Side by side for P8 as Kozlesko tries to move through, but Polar defends well for now. Still they go side by side, and then Kozlesko has the inside line for the 3 right hand corners, and that allows him up to the P8 position. Verklempt on to the tail of the Williams of Simon as well. It is going to be DRS for the McLaren. Simon trying to break that toe. Is it going to be enough for him? He's going to be defending the inside. Is he? Yep, he is, and it's side by side now. And then to the braking zone. Vapid gets through for P10 in the background, but this is where the action is, and going to be some more DRS for Verklempt down the next straight. Is it going to be enough for him this time? It looks like he's going to go through, and Verklempt up to P number 5 as Angelo now all over the tail of Danny as there's yellow flags further back, and Kozlesko and Polar side by side. So let's have a look from the helicopter shot. Polar gets back through Simon and Hutchins in P6 and 7, and that was a bit of a moment from Simon there. He's saved the car, but he's still under pressure from the Sauber of Hutchins, and stays in position for now. But is he going to be under pressure? Let's try and get a nice angle of the field here. Danny under pressure from Angelo, side by side, and with the DRS Angelo gets through, and we can see Hutchins goes through up to P5 as well, but there's action further back as well into the chicane. Polar and Kozlesko battling away once again, and now it's Kozlesko with the DRS open. Is Polar going to be able to defend? Side by side they go, and Kozlesko back up to P8, but the other Mercedes of Vapid tries to have a look as well. Not quite enough for now, but can it set up a move potentially into the next braking zone, but they settle in and Polar keeps that P9 for now. Was that some pit stops happening? It is indeed. Angelo and Danny both into the pit lane. And it's going to be onto some hard tyres, I believe, for these tyres. They've all obviously started on the mediums. It'll be close with Angelo coming out of the pit lane. And he slots in between the two of them actually, so Angelo slotting in P10 for the moment, and he's going to get DRS off the back of FaZe Ashton's Aston Martin car. So DRS open for Angelo, as we can see. DRS for Danny as well on Verstappen 95, as we can also see. And Ashton defends the inside line, and Angelo able to get around, and yet he completes the move. But the Ferrari man won't have the DRS as they appear now, and so Danny gets through on Verstappen 95, but stays behind FaZe Ashton for now. But as we go on board with Danny, he's had a very nice run through turn 9, goes up the inside onto the next corner, and now up into P10 goes Danny M7, of course reigning RFL champion, and Hutchins and Simon are into the pits. Could be some action between these two as we head down the first of the two DRS straights, and Vapid defends the inside, but Bushy has the outside line and the braking zone, and up to P3 for Formula Bucci. And that's going to give Vapid DRS now for the second DRS zone. And which way is he going to go? He's forced to go the long way around as Vapid, and Formula Bucci defending that P3 for now, but Vapid goes for a switch. He's not quite able to make it work. Action further back to P11 as Hutchins gets ahead of Simon, and into the pits goes the top two, as this battle we can see continuing on through the next sequence of corners. And then Simon making that P12 position his. Harrier lost out to Angelo and to Danny there, so that is interesting stuff, as Lempt gets ahead of Verstappen 95 as well. Rapid, of course, yet to pit and has DRS open in the battle for what is now the lead, but closer battles. Angelo gets through and into P3 ahead of Wazzy Jr., and Danny will hope to follow as quick as he possibly can. Can he go up the inside into turn 10? He can indeed, and that is Danny following through, and up to P4 for him now. And will the top two be pitting this lap? They are. Yep, into the pits they go, as Wazzy Jr. pitting as well there. Simon having a look. It's not quite enough into the chicane, but could he set himself up for a good run and on to the second DRS zone? DRS open for Simon, and now going side by side with Hutchins 95 and Simon through and up to P6 now. Harrier, as we can see, right on the tail of Danny. Danny trying to break the toe. Opens the DRS though, so Angelo could end up hindering his teammates here, or he could give him a helping hand as well, depending on what line they take. With Tarrier putting his nose side by side, they have a bit of contact, and that didn't quite work for Tarrier there. He's going to have to be a little bit more patient. We have 4 laps to go of this sprint race. Tarrier going up the inside into the hairpin, and side by side once again. Danny coming out on top, trying to break the toe, weaving side to side down the first of the 2 DRS straights. Pause, side by side for P16. Gnarly gets ahead of Mastor Paldonado there. So we go on to the hairpin for the final time this sprint race. It's going to really need to be a good exit for all of them. Angelo a bit of a slide. He's going to try and break the slipstream if he possibly can. It's DRS for Danny though, and he's getting closer. He's closer than he has been before. He's going to wait for the second DRS, so this is now the crucial exit for these top two drivers. And it's DRS open once again for Danny here. He is closing, but is he going to get the opportunity? Angelo defends the inside line. Is it going to be enough for Angelo to defend, or can Danny make his way through? And it's a slide, it looks like, for Angelo as well. And is there a space? Not quite for Danny. So we've just got a few more corners to go now. Safely through the Latifi corner, and now Angelo is going to round the final corner, and he's going to win the Sprint Grand Prix here in Abu Dhabi, and a sprint race victory. Danny P2 Tarrier is third, Tom Gorian P4, Klimt P5, Hutchins across the line for P6, Simon is P7, and Kozlesko rounds out the point scorers with a P8 finish. So Angelo wins the sprint race with Danny P2, Tarrier third, Tom Gorian's fourth, Klimt in fifth, Hutchins P6, Simon P7, Kozlesko 8th, Formula Bucci 9th, Polar 10th, Vapid 11th, Small Girl 12th, Wazzy Jr 13th, Ashton 14th, Verstappen in 15th, Gnarly 16th, Notorious 17th, Sam 18th, and Mastor Palvarado in P19.